If you want to strengthen the natural impulse to have a creative life and clear direction, you might be surprised how it's the small things that not only heal what hinders you, but help you to go even higher. Often, trauma is thought of something that happens with big events, but perhaps more often, it's what gets ignored growing up. Missed moments of subtle connection that bring the body into greater rhythm and relationship. The loving presence of a gentle kiss, the reassuring comfort for a little cut, the grace in the simple moments of hanging out together, and the precious holding of a tiny hand that lends a sense of safety, stability, and strength for the future. When missed or even violated, what can seem like a passing moment to an adult can feel like a deep wound to a child, and even life-threatening, because their entire nervous system is regulating from contact, that continuous listening that brings rhythm, relationship, and expansion. It is the body memory of these important, intimate missed moments that needs to be renewed in you, healing gaps in your nervous system so that you can move higher on your creative path. In cycle 2 of expansive listening, this moment-by-moment renewal is called granular contact, a moment-by-moment mapping of new neural pathways, the stronger sense of inner terrain, and the internal body rhythm imprint of deeper safety and trust. Moment-by-moment granular contact restores the continuity of biological rhythms and cycles, and that can give you relief from chronic physical and emotional symptoms and psychic tension. Without granular contact, chronic arousal symptoms or global reactions can habituate as stored tension in the body. Global reactions are survival responses where the body prepares for fight-flight, full body mobilization, or freeze, immobilization, and shutdown. The compression of survival is global because threatening problems require global full body movement for self-preservation. But relational preservation and relational connection require expansion through the awareness of much finer detail and textured responses. It's granular attention and contact that heals the global reactivity and body memory of the past. To heal early life body memories of chronic arousal or survival adaptations, let's get granular and let's talk about inner terrain versus the commonly used phrase inner landscape. Terrain is a distinctive structure, look, feel, or texture, while inner landscape is a sort of an overall overview. Sensing the distinct terrain of your own inner being requires moment-by-moment listening, which solidifies your every step because only the next fully committed step brings you full change. And you can't move step by step, moment by moment, until you feel the terrain underneath you. Otherwise, unaware, you go from crawling to running. Consider this. I don't plant my roots in a landscape. I plant them in a particular terrain. I drive my car on a particular terrain. I don't drive it on the landscape. The way to think of granular movement, of sensitively re-navigating your inner terrain, is to think of the difference between riding your bike up a set of stairs versus riding up a smooth ramp. More defined, articulated contours and rhythms create self-regulation, a smoother terrain, and a more effortless ride in the minor and major challenges of life. Whether we're working with granularity in therapeutic dialogue, movement training, or touch work, it is the refined moments of contour and texture, of sensations and emotion in the body, and in your expression that can bring you greater inner alignment. Granular contact is especially helpful in working with the sympathetic nervous system state of fight. Symptoms here are things like tendency toward heat, dryness, tightness, chronic pain, joint issues, sleep disruption, restlessness and unsettledness, hypervigilance, anger and rage, and also divisive conflicts in relationships. In chronic fight, we can get frozen in the fight. That is, we get stuck in relating by managing, fixing, tasking, doing, directing, and carrying the load. Or by cognitive override, where cognitive rationalizations override your body's needs and the textured feelings that are required for greater relationship. Imagine the sympathetic nervous system like the trunk of a tree, because the actual sympathetic trunk and nerves run the length of the spine from the cervical, thoracic, and lumbar regions, with the nerves emerging from the greater length of the spinal cord. As part of the autonomic nervous system, you may have heard that the sympathetic nervous system is in charge of fight-flight. But when regulated, it's in charge of an upright action in your posture, feelings of assertion, and the ability to take action on the direction of your life. Like a trunk, this system can help move you with alignment and direction, like growth from your roots upward. Solid moment-by-moment steps, creating a firm path for you to reach higher. An astonishing example of granularity taking you out of fight-flight or chronic arousal and into greater relationship is the story of the free solo climb up El Capitan in Yosemite by climber Alex Honnold, where he learned to relate to the mountain over and over, getting to intimately feel and know the granular contours and terrain, not the landscape, of his mountain path, so that he could climb safer and faster than anyone ever before without even a rope. Prior to his granular inquiry, people before him took up to 18 months up and down the mountain trying to accomplish the same ascent. But Alex ascended more creatively, more fluidly, and continuously, without reaction, even in a situation as dramatic as a sheer cliff, and completed the ascent in just under 4 hours. From granularity emerges the continuity of a path with direction, creativity, and clarity. No granularity, no growth. The granularity grows your listening to be in greater relationship. Abraham Maslow said, "To a man with a hammer, everything looks like a nail." The habituated nature of global reaction makes change and accomplishment difficult. In cycle 2, granular contact, you trust in step by step, where, being in contact with the greater whole, you invite the field of emergence, where wounds are healed by something beyond you that moves you higher. In granular contact, the second cycle of expansive listening, we get to know the terrain. I know, Dr. Mark, when patients come in to see you, you're trying to get some of that terrain down so you can get to understand their symptom. But not only that, you want to understand something about their life situation that will help them to heal.
Well, the symptom, whether it's a chest symptom, that means something. Is it a heart symptom? Is it deep in their belly? What is the symptom and what is the story that is embedded in that symptom? It's the chest pain. What was it that led to that heart attack that weekend, as opposed to all other weekends in your 65 years? Why was it then? And there is a story, and the symptom is the introduction and the opening of the book. The symptom is the entry of the story.
And it's the entry of the individual too, right? I'm assuming that people feel their story needs to be heard by you.
It needs to be witnessed, it needs to be told, it needs to be shared, and it needs to be brought to completion, to resolution, because it really is just all a symbol of the beginning and the end of the symptom is the beginning of the healing.
One question, Mark, I know you have when patients first come in to see you, and it's 2 words.
The big question: why today? It's why that day? Did that thing happen to you? Did that heart attack come? Why at that moment? How can we be in that moment of that today for that person, which was this monumental time in their life.
So why today starts to tell the terrain of their story, that it's starting to give purpose and meaning or relevance of the symptom to what's actually going on in their life situation.
It's all about tying it together into a meaning, that their life has meaning, that story had meaning, that their story has meaning, that it's important, that it's the most important.
What I really love about your approach, Mark, is it's all about making the patient feel valued for their voice, valued for their story, valued in being an individual, and valued as being human. And really, what we talked about, humanizing healthcare.
And I think deep down, isn't that what we all want, is to be cared about, to be valued, to be seen in every story? It's that we mattered and someone cares.
Join us next time for Session 3, Emotional Contact.